What's up, guys? IDK Player here, coming back with a brand new NASCAR video, guys, and today we are going to be talking about the future of NASCAR games. But before we get into the video, shout out to my donators: NASCAR Fan 24, C Workman 388, Reverend Rashim Stort, Meme King, JJ Fan 48, Anthony Ortiz, Kyle Larson 42 fan, and Jimmy 48 fan. Links to their channels will be in the description below. So without further ado, guys, let's get started. So actually, I just want to give you guys a quick heads up before we get into the video. If this video seems or feels a little rushed, I'm sorry. This week has been very difficult for me because I just have had a lot of things to do this week, and I don't really have that much time on my hands as of right now to make this video. So if this video does seem a little rushed, I'm sorry. I'm just letting you guys know that real quick. So without further ado, guys, let's get started. So right now, the future for NASCAR games seems really bright. So I know some people are not still happy that 704 Games does make NASCAR games. I did see a bunch of those comments in my last video about EA Sports. Some people still wish EA Sports would come and make NASCAR games again. And actually, there's a petition out there to bring EA Sports back into making NASCAR games. So I just want you guys know about that petition. I don't think it's really anything big. It's probably just fan-made, and I was trying to look into it, and there's nothing I could really see. They just said, oh, 500 petition signatures and all that stuff, and, you know, for EA to come back to make NASCAR games. Just so you guys know, that's obviously not going to happen unless 704 ends their contract early with NASCAR. So as you guys know right now, NASCAR and 704 Games are in a contract for 704 Games to make NASCAR games all the way through 2029. So if you guys know about that petition, just so you guys know, it's obviously not that big of a deal. So that's not really going to affect anything with NASCAR and 704 Games, because 704 Games has their contract through 2029 to make NASCAR games. So I'm just letting you guys know that petition is basically meaningless, and there's not really that many signatures. I think there's around like 300 to 400 signatures. It's not really that much if you really compare it to the amount of people that have bought NASCAR games in the past and that are buying NASCAR games now. So as you guys know, since 704 Games has the NASCAR license through 2029, that means they can get up to NASCAR Heat 16 if they keep with the same name. So as you guys know, they did NASCAR Heat Evolution for basically their first NASCAR game, I guess you could say. Then they went to NASCAR Heat 2. And then they went to NASCAR Heat 3 as of right now, and soon later this September, we will have NASCAR Heat 4. So as you guys know, if they keep with the name, they could go all the way up to NASCAR 16, unless they want to change the name to like NASCAR 2000 and whatever. They can go all the way to like NASCAR 2009 or NASCAR 29 if they just want to use the last two digits of the year. Now, obviously, it's not confirmed that they're going to change the name. Like 704 Games is going to change the names for the NASCAR Heat games, that they decided to change it to, you know, the year that that game is releasing. I just wanted to decide to throw that in the air for you guys and probably just talk about it a little bit, even though there's probably a chance that 704 Games won't change their names for the NASCAR Heat games, and they're probably not even thinking about changing it at all. I just decided to throw that concept in the air for you guys for a little bit. So, as you guys know, 704 Games obviously does have the contract through 2029 to make NASCAR games, but what are the chances of 704 Games ending their contract early? In my opinion, I can't see 704 Games ending their contract at all. I can actually see 704 Games extending their license to make NASCAR games, to have the license to make NASCAR games. What I mean by extending it is add more years to the contract. So possibly, you know, add a couple more years or add a lot more years. Because the reason why I'm saying this is because you guys are already able to see what 704 Games does behind the scenes and adding new content and really putting forward a lot of new things for these NASCAR games. So as you guys know, NASCAR Heat 3 now has esports. And what that basically shows to me is devotion to this game, because obviously esports, they're not planning on having it as a one and done situation, just have esports for a year and just call it a day. No. They're also adding new events all the time, so they're just not releasing a game and not doing anything for a year until the new games come out. You guys already know about the NASCAR Heat World Challenge, and now there's a second World Challenge coming out this week. I just didn't make a video on it, but just letting you guys know, you guys can very easily tell how 704 Games is really putting forward. They're adding new members to their team to make the games better, and it seems like right now that they're devoting a lot of time and a lot of effort into putting into these NASCAR games. So I can't see 704 Games ending their contract early. I can actually see 704 Games extending their contract. Maybe a decade, maybe half a decade, who knows? But whether it's extending their contract 1 year or extending their contract multiple years, I don't see 704 Games ending their contract early at all. I can really just see them extending their contract because they're devoting so much time and so much effort into making their NASCAR games that I can very easily see 704 Games extend their contract to making NASCAR games. So now the question comes up, who will be making NASCAR games after 704 Games decides to stop making NASCAR games? So as you guys know, 704 Games obviously once again has a contract through 2029. So after 2029, let's say 704 Games decides to stop making NASCAR games, unless obviously they extend their contract, and after they extend their contract that they don't want to extend it again, depending on how many times they decide to extend it, who will be making NASCAR games? In my opinion, because obviously this topic is not really that much needed right now, just because 704 Games already has a contract all the way through 2029. And if they decide to extend the contract, it'll be even longer. And depending on how many times they decide to extend the contract, it will be even longer. It will all depend on, in my opinion, how the NASCAR ratings are and how popular NASCAR is as a sport. So let's say 704 Games ends their contract, but NASCAR ratings are right now going through the roof. I would say actually, if these companies are still around, like in 2035 and around that area, I would say probably EA, 2K, these companies that are pretty big would probably pick it up. Just because, NASCAR ratings are going, through the roof. NASCAR ratings are really high. It's really popular as a sport. And obviously, they would see a huge return on investment because a bunch of NASCAR fans would be buying their game. So as you guys know, EA dropped NASCAR just because of the declining sales, and they obviously couldn't add new features and a lot of other things that were around it. So now let's say around 2035, 704 Games just decides to end their contract extension with the, making NASCAR games. This is just all like in scenario, like this is just a concept. I'm not going to say they're obviously going to stop making NASCAR games after 2035. Who knows what will happen? I can't predict the future. But let's say NASCAR ratings are in the dirt, okay? NASCAR ratings aren't doing that well. It's not as popular as a sport in 2035, or it's just not a good popular sport in, it's just not popular. Any discussion. Who would pick it up? I would say another small company. So as you guys know, 704 Games is still to this day a small company, but making NASCAR Heat Evolution, making NASCAR Heat 2, it was a really small company. And obviously, as you guys can see right now, they're growing. I would say probably if that would happen, another small company, probably not well known, would pick up the NASCAR gaming license and make NASCAR games. So obviously, I just want to let you guys know that was just speculation, because who knows if 704 Games would stop making NASCAR games, because right now it seems like they're super devoted to making their NASCAR games, and their contract is super long. So who even knows how long 704 Games will make NASCAR games, because right now it seems like they're super devoted to making their NASCAR games, and we haven't seen this type of devotion to making NASCAR games from a company since probably EA when they're making their NASCAR Thunder 2003 or 2004 games. So right now, just as a speculation, just want to throw this out there once again, that because I'm going to say it again, if 704 Games just decides to stop making NASCAR games, depending on how popular NASCAR is as a sport, will depend on what type of company will pick up the NASCAR gaming license, whether it's a big company or a small company. So if NASCAR is very popular as a sport, if 704 Games decides to stop making NASCAR games, then obviously a big company will come pick it up. But if it is like, the ratings are still very low and NASCAR is not as popular as a sport, then obviously a smaller company will come pick up the NASCAR gaming license. But we don't really have to worry about that, because it seems like 704 Games, once again, is super devoted to making their NASCAR games, and it looks like they're not going anywhere anytime soon. And me personally, I could definitely see 704 Games extending their contract on their NASCAR license past 2029. Who knows, probably 2035, just as small speculation once again. but I could definitely see 704 Games extending their NASCAR license past 2029. So that will be it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys all for watching. But before we leave, I just want to let you guys know what I'm saying in this video about, 704 Games. It's not me just saying it just to say that, like, if I really thought 704 Games was doing a bad job or poorly at making NASCAR games and are not putting as good as an effort, I would let you guys know right away. I wouldn't just say stuff just to say this stuff. And it's obvious, you guys could obviously see it, that how 704 Games is at putting in work and, putting in their effort to be making NASCAR games. So I'm not just saying that me personally that they're doing a good job effort-wise and doing a great job, putting out the games just to say it. Like, I'm saying it because I mean it. So thank you guys all for watching. If you guys are new, don't forget to smack that sub button. I'm so sorry if this video did feel rushed. I probably finished this video in like 45 minutes. Well, usually it takes like probably way longer to make a video for that. Probably like 3 hours. But I'm sorry if this video did feel a little rushed. I'm so sorry about that. If you guys are new, don't forget to smack that sub button, because when NASCAR Heat 4 news does drop, I will be uploading videos left and right on the news, and I'll be uploading it as quick as possible. So thank you guys all for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to smack that like button. Comment down below your opinions about the video and the future of NASCAR games, and don't forget to subscribe for more NASCAR Heat 4 news videos when it does come out. NASCAR Heat 4 videos, a bunch of videos like I'm making right now, and Project Cars 2 live streams, NASCAR Heat 3 live streams, soon to be Gran Turismo Sport live streams, and GTA 5 NASCAR live streams, and also soon to be iRacing live streams. So thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you guys then when I live stream or make another video. Thank you to everyone that did donate. IDK out.
And I got this soda, Remy boys.